Welcome to Orbitals, an astrology podcast. I'm your host, William Holloway, and today's show is all about the astrology of the diva of all divas, Miss Piggy. With me to discuss and dissect is my friend, astrologer Alexander Kriech. Welcome back. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm ready to discuss this really important topic, one of the biggest celebrities of our time, of our lifetime, and I think beyond.
Beyond. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I hadn't because she's been in the zeitgeist again, right? Like, because there's that movie that Jennifer Lawrence is producing and Cole Escola is writing. And there's like a Muppet Show. I think I just saw a trailer for it today that's coming out on the Disney app or whatever with Sabrina Carpenter. It reminded me of like how important Miss Piggy was when I was a child. Like the relationship I had to the Muppets and Miss Piggy was pretty strong.
Yeah. Mine's like a multi-generational, like, because like I gotta be honest, my Muppet knowledge is not too extensive, but I've just had a very strong draw toward the Muppets and Miss Piggy. But my grandfather was huge into Muppets, and then so was my mom. And then so that just kind of ended up getting passed down, you know?
Yeah, totally.
But I think my Venus and Gemini just like loves that they are treated like celebrities and not puppets, puppeteered by people. Like they are celebrities in our culture, and that has never changed or gone away.
And everyone plays along.
Talk shows. Yeah, everyone plays along, and it's almost just like this is an established fact.
Yeah.
But I was definitely interested, like, because like, I don't know. I remember when I was first like kind of talking about astrology on Instagram and stuff, I would use like Miss Piggy to talk about the different Venus signs. Like, because Miss Piggy is always like a Venus and Leo kind of energy to me.
Totally.
But
yeah, I have Venus and Leo, so it makes sense why I was so drawn.
Exactly. You're drawn to your patron goddess diva. That's kind of what she feels like to me.
Yeah.
But I just was drawn to like why she's more relevant than ever. I think that's because I couldn't remember like what sparked it. And then I will need to look at the Chiron return, because I noticed that there's that Chiron return in Aries that she's having as well, which is opposite all of her like Libra stuff in her chart. So I wonder if that has to do with like, hey, she's getting her own movie finally. So yeah, I'm excited to look at all the astrology, because there is some very striking astrology with Piggy and Kermit and Jim Henson. And also I want to know more about, because you're the consummate researcher. So because like you send me all the birth charts and birth times. So
yeah,
I'm excited to dive in and find out where you got those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Some of them, some of the times, some I had times for, some I didn't. Some I kind of guesstimated based on all the information I could find, as we do as astrologers. So, but yeah, as we get to those, I'll be curious what you think. Yeah. So I figured, I want to look at the astrology of Miss Piggy, but I also felt like, well, if we're going to talk about Miss Piggy, we also got to talk about the Muppets. And you can't talk about the Muppets if you don't talk about Jim Henson. So I have a little slideshow, because who doesn't love photos of the Muppets? And a little bio about Jim Henson, the Muppets, and Miss Piggy. Shall we?
We shall.
Did it do it?
Yes. Yep.
Yay. Right, cool. At first glance, she may appear to be a comedic puppet, dramatic, glamorous, occasionally volatile. But over the last 5 decades, Miss Piggy has become something far more significant. She is a cultural icon, a satirical reflection of fame and ambition, and a character whose evolution mirrors broader changes in media, celebrity culture, and gender expectations. So to understand Miss Piggy's impact, we first have to understand the creative world that gave rise to her, beginning with Jim Henson. So Jim Henson was born in 1936 in Greenville, Mississippi. He grew up during the earliest rise of television as a mass medium. Unlike traditional puppeteers who came from stage or circus backgrounds, Henson was shaped by television itself. He understood the intimacy of the camera and how subtle movements could convey emotion. And while attending the University of Maryland in the 1950s, Henson began working on a local television program. It was there that he experimented with puppetry that broke away from convention. Rather than using stiff marionettes or animal caricatures, Henson focused on expressive faces, flexible materials, and characters with emotional depth. This philosophy would become central to everything he created, puppets that did not merely perform jokes but felt human. In 1955, Henson created a character who would become the foundation of his entire body of work, Kermit the Frog. Originally, Kermit wasn't a frog, apparently, and he had no clear, defined personality. He was simply a puppet built from available materials. Originally, he was created with a green coat and ping pong balls for eyes. But over time, Kermit evolved into something much more thoughtful. He became the grounding central character of the Muppets. So I don't know. I always found it really interesting how Kermit was so, what's the word? Sensitive, maybe is the word I'm looking for. Like compared to Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Like very like a soft boy, if that makes sense.
Oh, and I feel like that shows up exactly in his chart too. Like sensitive, dreamy, soft boy, 100%.
Totally. Yes. And I had seen I remember because I've gone to exhibits in DC for the Muppets, and I've seen over the years different versions. And I always found it really interesting, the early days of Kermit.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. He was in drag a lot. He was very, because they didn't have they didn't have a cis female Muppet yet. So he always was the female character. So he wore a lot of wigs, which I just think is kind of hilarious.
That is really funny.
Yeah. That's cute. But maybe this might be my favorite. This backwards shake and go that.
Okay.
Not quite sure about that. Oh, and then when we get to color.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that Kermit did so much drag.
Yeah. Right. And he even did boy drag. Okay, this reminds me.
He's actually giving a little RuPaul there.
Yes, I was about to say this is so RuPaul right here.
Yes. I don't know why, but I was just immediately, I'm I am in the workroom. So
yeah, 100%. That is RuPaul.
That is so funny. Okay.
So now we know where boy RuPaul gets his fashion inspiration.
Exactly.
Yeah. Throughout the 60s and 70s, Henson and his collaborators expanded their cast of characters appearing in commercials, talk shows, and television specials. The term Muppets is a blend of marionette and puppet, and it came to define this new style. What set the Muppets apart was tone. They were playful but self-aware, absurd yet emotionally grounded. They appealed to children through visual humor and adults through satire, irony, and cultural references. By 1976, The Muppet Show premiered. Structured like a variety show, each episode featured musical numbers, celebrity guests, running gags, and backstage chaos. Kermit served as the host, always trying and often failing to keep everything under control. Around him was a cast of exaggerated personalities, performers, divas, misfits, and agents of chaos. But this is the environment in which Miss Piggy would finally take shape. Miss Piggy's earliest appearance occurred in 1974 during a TV special called the Herb Albert and Tijuana Brass television special. And at that point, she was just one of several pig characters and had no real defined role. When the Muppet Show began, Piggy initially appeared as a background performer in the chorus. However, her exaggerated design and Frank Oz's distinctive performance style quickly stood out. Frank Oz became the main puppeteer for Miss Piggy. And with Frank Oz, the character's personality emerged rapidly. Confident, dramatic, romantic, unapologetically demanding. By the end of the show's first season, Miss Piggy was no longer a background character. She was the star.
It was her destiny.
It was her destiny, right?
Yes.
So Miss Piggy, by her own description, is a supermodel, an actress, a singer, and an international icon. She speaks with flair, embraces luxury, and expects admiration. This was a radical portrayal, particularly in the late 70s when female characters were often written as supportive or secondary. Her romantic fixation on Kermit added a whole other layer. Her love was intense and performative, often overwhelming Kermit's reserved temperament. The relationship became a central comedic tension of the series and the following films that would be released in the late 70s through the 80s. I also noticed they've gotten married a bunch of times. It's like, okay, well, what's canon here?
Oh, got it. Well, all of her Libra planets, I just feel like she's like, I'll just get married again to the same person. Why not?
Yeah. The Muppets continue to get big and bigger throughout the 80s. There was the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, The Muppets Take Manhattan, which was my favorite as a child. And Miss Piggy was usually the standout, I have to say. I think most people would say she's always the standout. So by the 80s, Miss Piggy transcended the Muppets. She appeared on talk shows, award ceremonies, magazine covers, and commercials. Her book, Miss Piggy's Guide to Life, became a bestseller, blending satire with self-help parody. She became a stand-in for celebrity culture itself, both celebrating and mocking fame, entitlement, and excess. As media changed in the 90s and 2000s, Piggy also evolved.
She's obviously a versatile queen. She's working out, she's in photo shoots, she's a baby for some reason.
She's a baby in the Muppet Babies.
I didn't know for a while that Muppet Babies was like not just the cartoon show. Like I was like, oh yeah, that was also in a movie. Like
that was a dream sequence in the Muppets Take Manhattan.
There was some sort of TikTok edit. I think it was Silver Springs by Fleetwood Mac, and just like playing over just like a series of Kermit and Miss Piggy scenes, and I actually cried. I was like, this is really getting me in my heart right now. Like, anyway,
I love that. You'll have to send that to me. I don't think I've seen that. I love that.
If I come across it, I will send it to you.
All right, cool. As media changed in the 90s and 2000s, Miss Piggy also evolved. Television became more ironic, more self-referential, and Piggy adapted accordingly. Later portrayals emphasized her media savvy, independence. In some versions, her relationship with Kermit was reframed or decentered entirely, reflecting shifting cultural conversations about autonomy and identity. Oh yeah, here she is on The View. That's a guess.
I miss Piggy appearing on talk shows. It's my favorite. Especially like a show like The View, where she's just like a normal conversation with the girls.
Yeah, totally. It's been more than 50 years since her first appearance, and she seems to be bigger than ever, as we were talking about earlier. So she clearly was born for this. That's going to be my guess. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so, okay.
You said this chart data comes from his biography?
Yes, in his biography, the most recent one, the author lists the time that he was born.
Okay. So we have 9/24/1936, 11:40 a.m. Greenville, Mississippi, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Sagittarius rising.
Yep.
And the thing that stands out to me first with that is he has Jupiter in Sagittarius conjunct the ascendant. So Jupiter is his ruling planet. And Jupiter is squaring Neptune, like pretty exactly.
Yeah.
In the 10th house. And Neptune having to do with like film and also like illusion, like creating illusion, I think really like perfectly describes, or at least perfectly partly describes that work. And also just creating this whole universe, Neptune being like world building and building like another world and creating this illusory sort of thing. I feel like is the entire thing of puppets, like puppeteering.
Yeah. Super strong. And then he's got the North Node trining Mars and Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just to me, like, and it's like the highest planet in the chart. It just kind of speaks to how like he's looked up to. I mean, he created the Muppets. He created this enterprise essentially about play and this whole other world that's still also with us today.
His midheaven is square the nodes too, and it does kind of make me feel like obsessed with career.
Yeah.
Or like that obviously being super super important, maybe at the cost of relationships, considering the South Node is with Chiron in the 7th house of partnership. But also that Venus in Libra really being able to like art aesthetics, that whole thing, like the artist.
Yeah, complete. It has all of its powers. It is doing everything it wants to do, right?
Yeah. Moon in Capricorn, though, I could see like the work comes first, kind of grumpy.
Yeah, and I think it might have made his like bigger personality, because it sounds like he was quiet too.
Yeah.
But maybe if you got to know him, he was probably really
Mm-hmm.
a lot more wild, and I think like kid-like. I just imagine him like kind of jumping around on the furniture. He was probably a really great dad, or a really entertaining dad. Like,
right. I do
when
think
he
it's
was
interesting, like simply like Uranus being in the 6th house as well, like the innovator. When it would come to general work things, Uranus being also in the like in Taurus, which is an artistic sign as well. So yeah.
Yeah. It's Jim Henson. Great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shall we look at Kermit?
Sure.
All right. So yeah, I went with this time because this was apparently the time when these segments would appear, 625, like in these weird time segments, because they weren't like full episodes. It was this, I believe it was called Sam and Friends. It was a little show that would come on either before the news or after the news or something like that.
So we have May 9th, 1955, 6:25 p.m. Washington, D.C. is for Kermit's first appearance on the airwaves.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so speaking of the soft boy, so Kermit has Libra, a 29-degree Libra ascendant.
The softest boy.
Yeah, the softest boy with Neptune on the ascendant as well. So like just adding to that, like, well, and like one of his most famous, I think, moments being Rainbow Connection. I think that's what I think of when I think about him is that song, and just like the tenderness and the tenderness and artistry that could maybe come with that sort of planetary combination.
And I mean, he wasn't really created to be a musical. He wasn't like musical starting out, but he became, like songs that are kind of like part of the American songbook, if you want to, however you categorize that. But like I would put some of these songs, at least Rainbow Connection.
Also, he does have Venus in, okay, so his ruling planet is Venus in Aries, which would fall in his 7th house of marriage. And also Venus talking about sort of like the type that he would marry or be with, being a warlike sort of type, is very funny. And
someone
also,
stronger than him almost.
Yes, like dominating. And again, that directly plugs into Miss Piggy's chart as well. Yeah. Taurus Sun also, maybe also not beating the soft boy allegations as well, or like, marry for commitment, marry for life. And then also the Sun ruling his Leo midheaven. And since he is a performer, the Leo midheaven
business minded.
Oh, totally.
Trying to keep the crew together. Like, we've got a show to do. We all.
Yes. Absolutely. He does have the Sun opposite Saturn as well. So yeah, that's someone who's thinking about their obligations at the end of the day. How am I going to lead this crew? So focus on commitment.
Money is probably always on his mind.
Exactly. It's falling in a 2nd and 8th of finances. What else? I feel like there's plenty.
Oh yeah, we could probably spend a lot on this one. I just also, back to that Sagittarius moon, I just love that Kermit. Well, actually, let's look at it real quick. Jim Henson with Kermit on top. I just love that he was having a nodal return.
Yes.
The moon
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very destined kind of energy, I feel like. And also something that you would sort of get obsessed with as well, or just be very tied to like.
Yeah. And then now it puts his Jupiter Uranus in his 8th house, which is, it's like obviously financially way more than anybody would assume for puppets. The way it, like, how big it would affect his legacy, his bank account, and his family's, like, securing that his family will be okay.
Kermit's Libra, 29 Libra ascendant, 26-degree Neptune ascendant conjunct Jim Henson's 25-degree Libra Venus as well, I think is really telling and really sweet. Like, it feels like this emotional connection, and especially because Venus in Libra is pretty important in Jim Henson's chart as well, as governing as. Okay, I'm not going to finish that sentence, but yeah, it is important in his chart. So
yeah, it's important in his chart. Okay, so here's the Muppet Show pilot. This was the one that I really dug for like a time. And so as you could see, so September 5th, 1976, 4:15 p.m. in Eyemouth, which I believe is in Ireland, so in the UK. The reason I went with this is because so it premiered in the UK first, and the start time depended on the whatever zone it was in, and apparently the earliest zone was this.
Okay,
so it would have been 4:15 p.m. when it premiered.
It's interesting just because right away you have Uranus conjunct the North Node in the midheaven. Like, so revolutionary, unexpected, different.
Yeah,
you know, zeitgeisty kind of energy.
Very much. And it's a Sagittarius rising chart, which is what Jim Henson has. So it's like a very fitting chart to go along with his.
With Neptune moon right there as well.
Or
again, having to do with like film and like illusion. And then squaring the Virgo sun. And then you said Aquarius moon. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's okay. Yeah. Aquarius moon, which is fitting, being something new, a new version of something that's been done. I always think of Aquarius sometimes, not necessarily as like something that's never been seen before, but sometimes like a new way of doing something. Right. And so like doing that variety, taking that variety show format and applying it to these Muppets.
Also like groups, you know, like here's this like weird group of odd characters.
Motley Crue.
Yeah. And then fifth house being like performance and stuff. The ruling planet of that is Mars. It's empty fifth house, but the ruling planet is Mars. And that is caught up in this Libra stellium.
Yeah.
In the 11th house. Which is can be like, you know, wider communities and things like that too.
Yeah.
But Mars and Libra.
Audience.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yes. Mars and Libra conjunct Mercury and Venus, and which I, you know, Libra being, I think, a sign that kind of shows up a lot in these
with all of this stuff.
Yeah, and that's also conjunct Jim Henson's sun as well, because he has sun at 1 degree Libra, so it all plugs into his chart. Yeah. But also, I feel like with Mars, they're like the noisy busyness, explosions, stuff that's gonna happen. And like the frenzy of like we have to put the show on.
Totally. It's like the zaniness. It's also the like variety aspect of it. We have jokes, we have music, we have this, we have explosions. Yeah, totally. It's all of that stuff.
Yeah. And all governed by that Venus and Libra as well, which again plugs into Jim Henson's chart too. But of just like Venus is like, Venus being in charge, Venus being in Libra is like, hey, there's a lot of shit going on, but we're gonna get the show on. We're gonna put on a dazzling show for you.
Yeah.
So did I have thoughts about Jupiter and Gemini?
I hadn't before, and I'm looking at it here, and it's just interesting how it's ruled by that Mercury. It's kind of like, here's the premiere. Hey, everybody. You know.
But also the variety aspect of Gemini as well.
Yeah.
Of like, we're going to do a bunch of different things. And also Gemini just being comedy jokes.
Yeah.
I guess also, if you look at the 6th house, we could associate that with animals too.
Yeah. And the 12th, because they have all kinds, right? They have big, small.
Yes. Yes. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Also,
Good.
what was it? Moon. Nope, never mind. No follow-up thoughts for that. I just was gonna say words that don't quite make sense. So,
Well, that would, well, Aquarius does, it's like outer galactic, right? It doesn't have to make sense.
thank you. Okay, should we look at Piggy?
Yeah, let's look at Piggy. Drum roll. Here is the birth chart of Miss Piggy. So I went with October 13th, 1974, 10:21 p.m., New York, New York. This was that special. And I found an article that like broke down, like a review of the episode that broke down kind of like it's literally said like, and then the Muppet or Jim Henson's Muppets came on at the 20 minutes after for their segment. It was something like that. Like it basically gave me like 10:21 as like when that skit even started. So I was like, that's pretty
Cool.
specific.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And I think makes a lot of sense also with her transits as well, which we'll talk a little bit about too.
Yeah.
So Miss Piggy has Cancer ascendant. I feel like Cancer ascendant can be associated with like her big eyes. Like,
yes.
Like
she kind of has like a moon face too. I feel like that can be a and in her temperament that kind of changes. She can be so sweet, and then it can be you know, like she can moody, she can snap on a
her ruling planet being the ruling planet being the moon in this chart. So she has Moon, Pluto, Venus, Sun, Mars, Uranus, all in the sign of Libra. And her ruling planet is the moon. So we would look more at like her temperament there and also her inner emotions and nature and things like that. And her moon is conjunct Pluto. So it is like that explosiveness, temper, and also Libra being a cardinal sign, and that being, and as well as Cancer, her ambition. As well.
That exactly the ambition. Like I'm gonna fucking do it, no matter what. I'm gonna be the star. Yeah, whatever it takes.
Okay, so I remember like when you first sent this chart to me. So she has a Mars Cazimi.
Yeah,
and like the Cazimi being the planet in the heart of the sun. She has this emphasis on Venusian beauty and glamour I think also glamour with some other stuff that I'm going to talk about as well. But like the beauty but also like her warlike nature and the fact that she does also martial arts, that she's always fighting with Kermit and then making up is like her sun Mars in Libra, because especially that being, Libra being like the peacemaker relationship kind of energy, but then you have this warlike energy also, I think is like kind of a perfect.
You couldn't get more perfect, honestly. No. I mean, this is definitely her birth chart, right? Like,
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I did want to, it was something about the glamour part of it, because I think so she has Jupiter in Pisces, and her Jupiter is, where's her Neptune again? So she's Jupiter. So she has Jupiter in Pisces on the midheaven. So there is that bigness and expansiveness of that Jupiter and Pisces energy, but Pisces also, I think we can associate with just kind of it factor, the glamour, the allure.
Yeah. Also, and in the ninth house, it's like diva or like icon, right?
Yeah. And also the excess too, I think about it as well. Everything is bigger. And then, but then that Jupiter in midheaven would be squaring Neptune, which adds to that kind of glamour, but also scandalous sometimes quality, like as well.
Yeah.
Or like gets into scandals. Yeah. I just am like, this is like her birth chart, man. Like 100%. So
100%.
Yeah.
And even like, oh, sorry, go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the North Node is conjunct the Muppet Show's ascendant.
Oh, gotcha.
In the sixth house, like, so she's working on this show. It's where she gets her start, like where she becomes famous.
Yep. And then Neptune conjunct her North Node as well. Like, I just think more of that emphasis on film and glamour and just like really intensifying those sort of Neptunian themes.
Yeah.
And also, do you want to talk about Kermit and Piggy synastry?
Yeah, let's do that. But real quick before that, her Mercury
Yeah,
being in Scorpio, she does have a sharp tongue, right?
she does. And it's a stationing. Is that stationing retrograde also at the time? I think it
Let's
is.
see.
It looks like it's stationing, and I think it's stationing retrograde.
Yeah.
I don't have any follow-up thoughts on that. But I was like,
Yeah. Well, it makes sense if you want to think of the retrograde-ness of it all, that like she's finally finding her voice all this time later, right? She finally gets
yes,
her big break in a feature film only 50 years after her birth, but it does come
and
eventually, right?
it does, and it's in the fifth house too, which is performance.
Yeah.
Let's put on a show. Yeah, I just thought it was like I thought it was like a really stunning chart.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
also okay, like sixth house being pigs too.
Yeah.
Sixth house being pigs, and then also isn't it Neptune and Saturn as well?
Neptune, Saturn, and Venus.
It's just Neptune in the sixth house. It's just it does you could say glamorous piggy.
Yeah.
I guess too. So and then also Saturn conjunct her, a lot of fortune as well. Like, I don't know, like there's a lot you could say about that, but also just like famous for being a pig. You know what I mean?
For
so,
the most famous pig, if you could say she might be the most famous pig.
Absolutely. Probably I would agree. Babe wishes. I do
Babe
love
wishes.
Babe, but
Sorry, Babe.
you're not coming close to Miss Piggy.
No.
Okay. So Kermit being Libra ascendant, and so all of Miss Piggy's planets are going to be falling in his first house, essentially.
Yeah. Her Uranus is conjunct his Neptune. It's like she just kind of came in and woke him up.
Yep. And then her Venus is opposite his Venus. And so his Venus falls in his seventh house of partnership. Venus is really important in her chart because it's going to rule all those Libra planets. And there's that direct Venus opposition happening across their first seven houses of partnership. That plugs in like right away. Like they just go together. Even if they have like these really like opposite opposing energies, but also just like Miss Piggy being like relationship love obsessed. But like, oh, it's so funny. I just think that being in Libra is so funny.
It is. It's like it's like the stereo, like it was bound to be. She was bound to be like that. It's the stereotypes kind of wrapped up, right?
Yes. What was it? Kermit's Uranus and Jupiter conjunction is going to square all of Miss Piggy's stuff as well, and then his 10th house, which can have to do with marriage as far as like the public part of it, like what the public sees. His Jupiter and Uranus is in his 10th house of that public kind of marriage stuff. And then his 10th house is her first house of self and personality. So like,
right.
They're like reputations are just very like linked together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what's the nodal stuff? They have the same nodal kind of signatures as well, because
they were
have
both
South.
They
node,
both
Gemini,
have
Sag. So and they both would plug directly into Jim Henson's chart, basically. Then too.
So Kermit, when Kermit had his nodal return, then Piggy was born, right? Like Jim Henson has his nodal return, Kermit's born, Kermit's nodal return, Piggy's born. It's interesting.
Okay. I like that. Okay, so two things stand out to me right away. The reason she's seems to be around more. Jupiter has been in Cancer, her first house, since last June.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Duh.
And right now it's conjunct her Saturn, which rules her seventh. But anyway, because she has a lot of fortune and her ascendant both in Cancer. So I think Jupiter going through Cancer. How old is she actually? I wonder what her perfection years are.
Here, I can pull it up. Here, she's 51 currently, having a Libra year. So it's her. It's her having a fourth house year. Yeah.
Yeah. And all ruled by her Venus. So that comes back to her Venus in Libra.
Yep.
And then she's a night chart, so that'd be her most positive planet anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, which we can talk about, like, yeah, her fame. So maybe just enjoying like a little bit more attention, even though that's like a fourth house, kind of more private Venus, but still like she's clearly. But yeah, I just think Jupiter going through her first house, literally, like, just she seems bigger than ever these days. She's everywhere. And then also her Chiron return is happening exactly right now. Like, she has a 22 degrees Aries Chiron in her 10th house, and Chiron is at 22 degrees right now of Aries. So yeah, and there's some stuff with Chiron that I just still am like, what?
Yeah, I don't use Chiron often. So like how do you characterize a Chiron return typically?
I really don't know. I mean, like, I would think like in a individual's chart, that's something about like your healing process. I think it might be more important to some people than others. I think the fact that her sun in Libra. Okay, so the fact that she has her sun in detriment, where she is sort of forced to share the spotlight a lot of the time with this motley crew of individuals, and not having her own movie, and the fact that her Chiron is opposite her sun as well. So it's sort of like that she's getting her Chiron return now is like, now she's getting her own chance to shine on her own and not having to share it with everyone else. It's kind of what I'm getting out. It's what I'm getting out of that.
Totally works. I love that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And then, so she's in a Venus year. Okay. And then also, like, it's just going to put more emphasis on that Chiron return, because it's opposite her Venus in her perfected house. Okay. So the moon. So wait, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I was just kind of looking at like her upcoming transits as well. Like, okay, we have eclipses in her 2nd and 8th house coming up this year. I would really
the Aries stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Saturn going into Aries.
Saturn and Neptune in Aries. That's going to be a big part of like her new.
And that's happening across from her ruling planet as well, right across from her moon. Yeah. So like, definitely new era as far as her career, carving out something new, blazing her own trail, we could say, in career matters for her. So I wonder when that movie is slated to come out, but it's like, I would say, like, listen, mama, like, you're going to be working more. There's going to be more responsibility to carry on your shoulders here, but it does feel like also Saturn would be her other Time Lord this year too, if you from her moon. And so, because so she would also be in like a 7th house here, and the Capricorn governing that. So Saturn's looking at transiting Saturn, I think, will just going to be louder for her, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it kind of makes me want to peek at her progressions real quick.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know what's going on in her progressions. Okay. So secondary progressions, Miss Piggy. Okay. So if we look at her progressions, she has progressed moon. Her progressed moon is actually conjunct the progressed ascendant right now.
Oh, yeah, I can do that right here.
Okay, hold on. What is her?
Here, I just pulled up the secondary progression.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That sun and ascendant and moon in Leo.
Yep. Ascendant, moon, and Leo, and just in moon. And that pretty tight, moving away from the ascendant, but I just kind of feel like putting more focus on that person. There's like we could say like a rebirth in sort of one's personality, or like a coming out, or like a reintroduction. Essentially, it's very loud and kind of like the sign of Leo as well.
Yeah. And in her natal 2nd house, so she's getting a check.
Yes, she's getting a check. And then also she's coming off, she had a progressive full moon in 2021, and then so this would be, it's some kind of waning bullshit. I can't remember what it is.
Some waning bullshit,
but that still would be like the next phase after that full moon. So anyway, but yeah, I did think her progress moon conjunct that Leo ascendant is like, look at me, it's my time, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that Sun North Node Neptune conjunction in the 6th house, actually.
Yeah.
So it's almost like rebirth of the pig.
And then it would be, and then that would be her 5th house in her progress chart as well. So
right.
Like rebirth of pig, but also she's performing, she's on stage, you know?
Yeah.
So
and it's being written, her story's being, the film is being written right now, I guess, right? That's going to be.
Yeah. I wonder when because she has a retrograde Jupiter, and it's direct. It actually stationed direct in like 1994. She had her progress like Jupiter return like the late 2010s, and then now it's just I don't know. So something with career, like paying.
Well, and I think that was like when a newer Muppets movie came out. Like they were trying to rebrand the Muppets in the late 2010s.
Was that Tina Fey? Was she like Russian in that movie?
Yeah, and like Seth Rogen or somebody. No, he's doing the new one. I can't keep track, but
yeah, I know like Tina Fey was. I remember going to see a Muppet movie with Tina Fey.
Yeah, they made a few. Yeah, but it was all in the late 2010s, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, but now it's like she's having her progressed Jupiter return. And that Jupiter is now direct. So like these delayed, so like that feeling of things that were delayed are now paying off, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. I love it.
It is cool. I know, me too. So yeah, I'm excited to see. I don't know when this Miss Piggy movie's coming out. They're definitely talking about it a lot, but if it's only being written right now, I doubt we're going to see it next year. Maybe, unless there's I don't know.
I kind of wonder if when we have like eclipses in Cancer and Capricorn, it's kind of because it's gonna be a couple years from now. The eclipses are gonna be in her 1st house of like she's doing press. She's doing press in a lot of interviews. So
yeah, and I'm sure Sabrina Carpenter will be in it, who is also a Cancer rising.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
I can see that a lot.
I can see that, right? It makes sense if they're both Cancer risings, they look alike. I mean, Sabrina Carpenter doesn't look like a pig, but you know what I mean.
I thought her getting arrested at Sabrina Carpenter's show was so funny.
That
was funny. Like one of my favorite moments, because I was like, I think it was her and the Fanning sisters back to back, and I'm like, yes, these are celebrities that I really enjoy. So
yeah, that was good. I liked that a lot. It was so funny.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for being here as always. Where can everybody find you?
DocStarOracle.com. I do astrology readings and psychic medium readings as well. I'm teaching classes right now too, but I don't know when this is coming out, but I'm teaching something. DocStarOracle.com, TikTok for now on Dr. Oracle, and then Instagram Dr. Oracle. Same thing with YouTube, and I'll be doing my podcast as well, which is called To the Stars, an Astrology and Intuition podcast, or just Google Dr. Oracle. It'll come up on YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts as well.
Awesome. Yay, this was so much fun. I could really look at Miss Piggy's chart for a long time. It's a really good chart.
Yeah. It is a good chart. And there's always more shit that we find out as we're talking. Because on the Golden Girls one, I had some notes and I was just like, oh, there's a lot more.
So it all kind of pops out when you're looking at it in real time. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you again for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. All right. Bye, everybody.